to this. Ready, set.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spitter Rock. I'm here with my boys, Cal and Petey. Today we're going to be discussing J.J. Abrams taking over DCEU, or supposedly doing a Superman movie. Listen, and we'll talk to you about what's going on. I'm going to pass this on to my boy Cal, who seems to have some insider information. Pass it, Cal. What's rocking?
Well, supposedly J.J. Abrams, or more than supposedly, J.J. Abrams is, supposed to be doing a Superman film. But now the question is, well, does he do the Superman film with Henry Cavill, or does he pick a new actor to go forward with? Now, I think all of us are, are a little bit film savvy, that when it comes to these type of franchises, if you pick somebody new, you have up to a 20-year period that you can work with this person. So this person could do, X amount of films, and it's a dude. So, if you get him as young as 28, and what they can do now in terms of staying in shape, this guy may be good for you until he's 48. Cable started at 28. He's 38 now. And you're thinking, okay, if I want to start over, do I want to start over with a 38-year-old and get 10 years out of him, or start over with a 28-year-old and maybe get 10 to 15 years, in terms of the franchise out of the whole thing? And then you got to look at the other characters surrounding it. Forget about Perry White, forget about that. But then you also have to look at Amy Adams, because if you're saying that, well, is Cable too old? She's older than him. So how does that whole thing work? But the biggest problem is Zack Snyder, that the whole DC universe has it started with his stuff, and he has his tentacles in every aspect of it, even if it's so slight. And I don't see how you go forward with anything, at least let alone a Superman film, while Zack Snyder is still so much a part of the framework where it is. So I was really hoping that he would do the whole Justice League thing. And then after it's done, they could just move on, reboot, and just, recast, and maybe we can get some good stuff out of this. But as of right now, I don't see how you get this done with the stuff that's still going on around with the other films.
I really like the point that you're making here, Cal, because I'm just going to give you a list of movies that DC's coming out within the next couple of years. Of course, we just had Wonder Woman. We had Birds of Prey earlier. Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey in the Zack Snyder universe. Wonder Woman in the Zack Snyder universe. Batman, well, the Batman may not be, but Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder universe. Black Adam, from what I understand, it was pitched to the Rock from Zack Snyder and the team there, using the anti-hero look. Shazam, I'm not sure about that one. And Flash is coming out in 2022, and so is Aquaman. Those are both Zack Snyder properties. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies coming out, at least 6 of them to 8 of them are Zack Snyder characters that were influenced, chosen, and templates decided by Zack Snyder. So that shows you the influence that is going to go on. Like you said, you can't necessarily shake this. And if his his new DC Warner Brothers, HBO Max TV show is a hit, then he's probably going to come right back in and take over once again. But in terms of J.J. Abrams, from what I'm reading, is that he's trying to introduce hold your seats. He's trying to introduce the Justice League Dark into the universe. That whole Justice League, because he wants to do TV shows on HBO Max. He wants to do movies. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, or who will be part of it, or whether it'll be part of the DCEU. But there's some good possibilities. I always wanted to see Zatanna come into the TV shows and the movies, because
who doesn't?
Yeah, they're talking about Swamp Thing, Constantine. They've had him in and out constantly. So that's interesting. A whole another thing there, and of course, like you said, possibly the Superman. But I don't know if Superman is going to rock with the amount of mojo that Henry Cavill right now has with DC, especially if he does the other movies and he does well in the Snyder Cut coming up too. So it's a lot of ifs of what they're going to do. But as we've always said before, DC is just a complete mess on what they're doing. There's no cohesive union. All this stuff, right?
There's no making fun of it.
But we have a resume with DC also. So
I
didn't say that.
That's what you said.
I had something in my throat. Drinks.
Yeah, it's called the truth.
What's your take on it, Cal? Petey?
I wanted to go into. I saw something about the idea. No, I know what was it? Christopher McQuarrie. I think when he went to DC with a I think a Green Lantern thing, but he was also with a Superman pitch. So I think their plan was talking about doing something for a Green Lantern. And what was it? But I'm not. I saw someone. They said they had a mock-up of what story they wanted to do, and I was trying to look that up quickly. But I mean, J.J. Abrams does exciting movies, and hopefully, since it's not marred in the history of Star Wars, he could do something exciting with this universe. But or do, and I would rather him sort of do his own thing, even though I wouldn't want to lose Henry Cavill. I really, like him as Superman, as his look as Superman, and the little we saw in the Justice League movie, though his scenes were pretty powerful. I'd like to just get him to see some a normal scene, some normal stuff as Superman. But it'd be interesting to see what J.J. Abrams is. But one thing that I saw one of the ideas that he had for Superman too, and I'm like, I don't have it on hand right now, which is really like we probably would run over, we'd run a bus through it to find, figuring out the plot hole. So.
Well, I mean, I know Comic Book News. I don't know if this is where you got the same article from, but Comic Book News is the one, and a couple other sites, and depending on what type of authority you want to give that. But Comic Book News is the one that said that Henry Cavill met with J.J. Abrams. So
Oh yeah, okay.
back in October. So the question is, because he wants to develop the Superman movie.
Mm.
Does he want to do a movie? Does he want to put him as part of the Justice League Dark? It's interesting there, but it goes back to the same thing. Cavill doesn't want to do another. He doesn't want to be a bit player. He wants to have a second film. He wants to have, I guess, to redeem his character. The DC, it seems like the suits want him to be everywhere. He's the Mickey Mouse of DC, right? But really, probably Batman it is. But they want him to be in many different properties, and he's like, "Yo, I want to do my own movie." I don't see that developing currently. But if he had J.J. Abrams behind him, working with him, and I think it could definitely be done.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Hey, never say never, bro.
No, J.J. Abrams was already tapped to do a Superman film before Superman Returns. I don't know if you did you get to read the treatment on it? It was called Superman Flyby.
No, it is.
Can you give us an overview? I've heard it once, but I can't remember it right now.
Oh God, it wasn't. It was pretty bad. But what was this? Did you see? What was this film? Did you see Brightburn?
Yeah, I didn't finish it. I saw the start.
Okay, it was closer to that. Not necessarily as bad, where it's like an evil Superman, but all of the stuff that, all of the stuff that was classic about Superman, he was taking that out, and it was the same thing. This was going to be more of an emo anti-hero that he was presenting, and they passed on it for those particular reasons. And that was Now, mind you, I'm pretty certain that wasn't what J.J. Abrams necessarily was thinking about Superman. These guys are probably telling him, look, this is the direction we want to go in, and can you throw a spider in there while you're at it? Maybe he can fight some polar bears. We all know that, a lot of this stuff comes from on high. So now, if he's going to do this, he's probably like, well, look, if I get another shot at Superman, I really want to do my story. I already did the stuff with Star Wars, okay? And then I had to come over and see, how that worked when they took me off of it. So if I'm going to do this, I want to do my own stuff. Henry Cavill is also in a pretty good position where he's saying, well, look, I'm over here doing other films. I'm probably going to get tapped for maybe something like Bond or a good franchise. I got something really good going over here with The Witcher, and that's going to come down the pike for him as well this year. So he's going to have some strong position to negotiate, but it can't be both. It's either if the two of them want to work together and they have something mutual that they want to do, fine. But other than that, it's going to go to the director, not the actor, in terms of, hey, I want to get this particular thing. I want to get this particular thing done. And again, the bigger problem is that, like him as an actor or not, and that's not necessarily me, Henry Cavill is connected to Zack Snyder's whole thing. That anytime I see this guy, as much as he may act differently or such, it's still everything that came before, and it's inescapable. You can't get away from it. So now you got a new guy who wants to come over here and say, well, look, yeah, I want to do something, but do you really want to continue what the other guy did? Do you really want to continue what the last director did? Especially since it wasn't very well received, with the exception of I don't want to call them fanatical, but a very robust fan base who enjoyed what he did and have been going back to the well over and over with it. So I don't see how you get past that.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, Petey?
No, no. I mean, I just wanted to hear that. I couldn't find. I mean, I watched some other video where they talked about. I think there was a certain story that Henry Cavill wanted to do, which he was.
For tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. So that they were talking about doing that with Christopher McQuarrie, and but at
Yeah.
least getting something. And not my. That's the thing. That would be not my first choice for either of those guys.
Damn
But
right.
but they have, it's like, hey, they go to DC, like, here, you want some Superman stuff? Here's for tomorrow. Here's the biggest thing here. And it's like, oh, we could give you so much other stuff. But that sort of thing. But yeah. Ultimately, I was more the idea of them trying to do a Green Lantern, or just getting something off the ground rather than kind of sitting around there. But I guess ultimately they've got some successes under their belt at Warner Brothers, so they're gonna just do whatever they want now. So they got the Snyder Cut that has all this buzz behind it, and they have Aquaman, which is a success and whatnot. So we'll see what happens next.
And what's the buzz behind the Snyder Cut? What's the
Oh,
buzz?
no, I did not walk right into it. Oh God, that is somehow going to be better. Okay, I said it. Can we just close the show now?
What's the buzz? The buzz is we haven't seen it, so it must be great.
No, what's the name? Josh Whedon is so terrible. He's the worst. He's so bad. This has to be good because Josh Whedon is a bad guy.
Josh Whedon, yeah.
And because he's not he's not an actual feminist. He actually likes women. He's dated outside of his marriage, that sort of thing. So he's not the great guy we thought he was. That was his wife. I didn't make that up. That's when his wife was complaining. He says he's a feminist, but yeah, when you say that and you're married, you're gonna get in trouble. And you're famous because some people are gonna check you out and be like, "Hey,
can't you do both and still? Can't you do?"
Where did this come from, bro? Where are we bringing this out? Why are we even talking about that?
I'm saying Josh Whedon was the person who they're saying who's bad. That's some of the bad stuff he did. If you're listening instead of
I know
words.
No, I'm saying
he did his bad buzzwords. They're saying he's a bad guy, right? He's the guy who took the group superhero films, and did a solid Avengers. He's the one who created dynamic. He said, hey, put some dolly track on there, put some graphics, go around there so you got like a comic panel, like a splash page.
Yes.
You were cool. That's what he gave us. And he had the Benny. They said that Zack Snyder was in a bad place. Was his daughter passed? So he came in and covered him. They did some changes, this, that, and the other. Now he's the worst thing imaginable. They got Ray Fisher, who doesn't want to be involved in it, all this stuff. You wanted me to go there, I'm going. All this stuff that they're saying about him, Jeff Johns, he's terrible. He told him, hey, watch it, buddy. Now you didn't defend me. Ray, what's the name, got win against him too. So it's like everyone's terrible. They're the worst people imaginable, that sort of thing. What's the name? Josh Whedon said, hey, will you get on your mark? Get to your mark. Oh no, he was mean to me. That sort of stuff.
Anything else to add, Cal?
It's a bad idea.
Thank you very much for your support, Cal. So let's wrap this up. I'm so afraid to say PDP everything.
What?
So afraid to ask you anymore.
Why?
We're not going there.
Because he's right? Because he's speaking the truth?
Because he's speaking the truth. We're not talking about that. There's not a question of speaking the truth. There's a question of, were we discussing that? No, we weren't discussing that.
We were totally
right.
No reason to diss a man who's already down, kick him while he's down. He's down, we leave him alone and we move forward. We're positive people here.
Which one are we kicking while we're down? We're saying, hey, he's a quality filmmaker.
We don't want to rehash it. I got it.
Now we can't even talk about him. He's been excommunicated from Hollywood.
Spinner rack.
No, I'm not as great as the Russos are, and the Russos are great as far as taking one character and doing the spotlight. Like you see the way they put the spotlight on the characters in Infinity War and that sort of thing, and gathering those groupings and those cool groupings. The only problem I had as far as their directing is when you have the running and they try to do, okay, here's this team like a football team, but when you look at football, it's a little more dynamic. When superheroes run, you have to really watch out because it's not always key. It doesn't always work. And that's what Josh Whedon showed you. He said, hey, I'm not doing that. If I do it, I'm doing the graphic thing. You see in Avengers 2, he had that graphic where they kind of use the slow-mo and whatnot. So it's kind of angle. But when what's name just did the basic running, it's not cool. Watch out, it doesn't work. That's what Josh Whedon gave to us. So that's what I'm saying. We can't take away from him. Don't take away from him. And Spinnerack out.
Out. Bro, why we gotta